Marilyn is here too. She wants inner peace. That's what I'm treating for. Okay, good. All right, so this word is being spoken for each one. And if there is anyone or any place in this entire world or places in this entire world that you would like to also have included, just think of their name now or that place now and know that this word is also for them. There is only one life. It is all that this universe is, all that is visible, all that is invisible. It's the creator of all this. Obviously, something's creating it all. And it is the creation. It is all. This one life, one cosmic universal organism. It is a body, the universal body. And just like in a human body, if one part is out of alignment, the entire body does not experience its highest and greatest good. And so in the universal body, it is a requirement that every aspect of it be in harmony with everything else, because this universal body is an expression of an infinite, all-powerful intelligence. That being intelligent does not create pain for itself. Being intelligent, it is an expression of joy. Joy being that highest vibration of love, that way that love feels within. This joy is present in this entire universe, this one universal life, and everything within it has this presence of intelligence, of love, of joy, and is in right and harmonious relationship with everything else. There is not a spot where this one universal, intelligent, loving presence is not. And everything it has created and is creating matters to it. This one omnipresence cares about each aspect of its creation and is moving heaven and earth to ensure that every single aspect be in harmony with everything else and know peace and love and joy and be in relationship with everything else so that every single aspect may express this joy that is present. And this is universally true, that there is a peace that is omnipresent. It is a peace that definitely passeth human understanding, because human understanding can never encompass the infinite, indwelling omnipresence of love and harmony and goodness, the all good, creating a universe that is the highest and the greatest good of all. And so all human judgment and figuring out and determination that things aren't working out, as well as all concoction of human beliefs in lack, loss, limitation, as well as all human misunderstood relationship to life that creates resistance, rejection, and rebellion to that which one is divinely guided to be, to express, and to live, and to encompass and embody, is all that which would block, all that which would limit, all that which would attempt to impose itself on that universal peace and make it something else, is all by this word erased, evaporated, and vanished, gone, vamoosed, out of the universal oneness, because it is not universally present. The only thing that is universally present is peace, harmony, love, joy, intelligence, goodness in all ways. And so wherever in any particular aspect of creation there seems to be the opposite of peace, or chaos, or disruption, or a problem, it, by the light of the realization of the omnipresence of truth, of peace, and of goodness, the darkness vanishes. back into the nothingness from whence it came. And each one is now more aware of peace, of love, of goodness, of harmony, of right action than ever before. This expresses in that universal world that is each one's own indwelling place, that presence right in within each one right now being peace, love, harmony, joy, intelligent action is creating now a world in which each one can dwell peacefully, harmoniously, and happily. Each one is now seeing this inner presence, this inner truth with clarity and with understanding and acceptance, and able to see this, that which is eternal and unchanging, is being projected through each one's acceptance into the experience within each one's world. And so each one is knowing the truth, experiencing the truth, feeling the truth, and seeing the truth. And the world of each one's experience is changed to reveal that which is omnipresent. And so each one is now living as a free spirit, expressing all the goodness that each one desires to express and is being given out of the infinite substance, that perfect form of body in which each one may live and laugh and love and express and work and be all that one desires to be on this planet. Each one has a healthy, harmonious, and happy vehicle through which one may give the gift of the expression of one's own spirit to this world. Each one is surrounded by a family of like-minded beings, and no matter who comes into each one's orbit, they are being divinely guided to be there and divinely guided to correspond with the good, the beautiful, and the true. And so each one here is able to be in harmony with all who enter into their world, because harmony reigns omnipresently. And each one is able to express that unique gift of oneself in this world, happily, successfully, harmoniously. Each one knows their value and knows who they are and is exercising that gift of choice to express oneself in harmony, in success, in joy, in health, in love. And all the doors open. The world rearranges itself to support each one's thriving and prospering and expansion of givingness of one's unique self. And each one is a blessing to this world. Each one is accepting the blessedness of divine support in all ways. And so each one is healthy, fully supported. Each one is experiencing abundance, which is full support. Being able to express what one is guided to express at the moment, at the time, at the place that one desires to express it, and with whoever is in front of them. Each one is able to be their full and complete self, and each one is loved and lovable and loving. And so each one is surrounded by a wonderful family of seeming angels, people that are a delight to be with, express with, interact with, and each one being the source, the cause of this harmonious world that each one dwells within, because each one connects with that harmony in the universe. Each one is able to walk in this world free, unafraid, peaceful, harmonious, seeing the best in the world, in each situation, and in each person. And in seeing the best, each one is seeing the truth. And as a result, each one is experiencing A life that one loves completely, dwelling in a world that one loves completely. This is the truth. I am grateful that this is the truth. I release this word to that great cosmic law of cause and effect, knowing that it obeys, it is done, and we agree by saying, and so it is. And that's the way it is. All right.
Shri Sashe Mahaprabhu Ki Jai Paramatma Ki Jai Om Shanti Shanti Ti Om Om. Shri Sashe Mahaprabhu Ki Jai Paramatma Ki Jai Om Shanti 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 Om. I am opening, my heart is ready to receive. I am opening, my heart is ready to receive. I am opening, my heart is ready to receive.
And so let's take a moment right now and connect with your heart, your desire. Oh, what do you want today? Want something big, not some namby-pamby. Yeah, I just want to get through the day. No, something miraculous, something that makes you go, "Whoa, there is a God." Open up to that, and let's realize that there's more than enough spiritual truth here to demonstrate something wonderful, something amazing for each one of us. All it requires is our opening to the goodness, the greatness that is present. And so it is.
I am opening, my heart is ready to receive. I am opening, my heart is ready to receive.
Good morning, and welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living, Princeton. We are an open and welcoming community that teaches and practices the science of mind for our own good and the good of the world. And this morning, I don't know where you are, but where I am, it's been cold and rainy for the last couple of days. But what I've enjoyed is when I take the dog out for a walk and I come back into the house, that heat from the house hits me and then envelopes me. And I feel welcome, and I feel safe, and I feel loved. And that's what I feel when I come to this community on Sunday mornings, whether I'm here in person or out there online. And I hope you feel that same way too, that when you come into this community, that you are enveloped in love and in consciousness and feel welcome into our community. And if Sunday is not enough for you, we have a couple of classes going on. On Wednesday evenings, our practitioner Susan Neat has a class. The Temple of the Living God is the topic for the first 2 classes in June. She'll be studying the sage wisdom of Holmes, Bales, and others to move into a place of deeper understanding of and gratitude for our body and health through meditation and contemplation. And if you want, on Saturday mornings, our practitioner John Heron is running a writing class online, and you can join that from 10 to 11:30 and do some spiritual writing or whatever kind of writing you're doing. And so this morning, I thank Reverend Rick for his music, Dr. Karen for her words, and I welcome all of you and hope that you feel a great big hug, warmth, and love this morning.
Where within you do you seek the silence? Where within you do you seek the peace? Could the answer be within the presence, or might it just be within? Where within you do you seek the knowing? Where within you do you seek the truth? Could the answer be within the question, or might it just be within? I close my eyes and I take a breath. I know that it always within. I close my eyes, I take a breath. I know that it's always within. Where within you do you seek the grace? Where within you do you seek the moment? Could the answer be within the question, or might it just be within? Or might it just be within? Might it just be within? Reverend Karen.
Yes.
I forgot that.
All right. Okay, here we are. Whoa, whoa. Help, help, help.
Oh my God.
Help.
Tell me when.
A little higher, please. Thank you. That's good.
With mechanical failure.
Mechanical failure. Okay. All right. So, good morning, Scott. Raul. Hello, everybody. Yes. Live. So for those of you who are expecting our practitioner of the day spiritual work right now, I want to remind you that Michael Sniezek is our practitioner of the day, and he already has done his spiritual work. So you can flip over to the video of his spiritual reading and spiritual mind treatment now if you like, or you could stay with me and go back there when it's all over. So that's really wonderful. And Craig writes from Thailand, raw and real, love it. All right, so our topic today is how to see the world correctly. And I am inspired by a book written by my teacher called Spiritual Healing, a simple guide for the healing of body, mind, and spirit. My mentor, my spiritual teacher, the man who saved my life from because of his expression of truth, Dr. Stuart Grayson. And I do owe him his inspiration to a whole world that has opened up and changed me. And before I knew him, I was in agony and suffering. My life was a disaster. I was miserable all the time, angry all the time, unhappy all the time, all these issues, all these problems all the time. And through my own personal years of demanding, what's the answer? What's the truth? What's the answer? I was an atheist at the time, remember? So who was I even talking to? What's the answer? What's the point? What's the truth? I'm not going to name God, but what was the point? After years of making that demand, I was guided through a series of events to see a video of someone who's out in California who's speaking about Fibonacci numbers being the template, the pattern that was present throughout the entire universe. And I knew this was the answer. I can't explain it. I just knew, that was the answer. And I wished with my whole heart I could study with that gentleman who was speaking about it. And I remember thinking, well, he's in California. And I didn't know his name. I didn't know who he was. A few months later, my ex-husband invited me to a lecture where his current girlfriend and his current girlfriend's mother would be present. Who goes to things like that? Not me, but for some reason I went. And I was sitting in the room next to him and his girlfriend's mother. And in walked Dr. Stuart Grayson, the man that was in that video. And I was like, oh my, this is all for me. I knew he was clueless and she was clueless and the mother and whatever, they're all clueless in my opinion. I knew it all happened for me because of that demand I made. And so I know right there, I knew that life responds to our demands. I hadn't it all figured out for a while. And of course, when I first heard him speak, I'm like, oh yeah, that's everything. And I kept thinking, oh, I know it all. I got it all. And I'd leave. And then my life would get miserable again. And then I'd come crawling back. Please help me, whatever. And then I'd get clear and leave. I was one of the major revolving door attendees of this teaching for 5 years. And in fact, after 5 years of revolving doorness experience, I made a commitment to really study this work. I finally got that I didn't get it, and I needed to really study it. And the interesting thing is that many years later, when I was a practitioner, becoming a minister, I spoke to Dr. Grayson, and they had no memory of me of those first 5 years, in and out, in and out, in and out. No memory whatsoever. So his second book that he wrote is this book, Spiritual Healing, and my copy, he signed it, August 1977. 1997. I said 77, right? 1997, he signed it. To my dear student, Karen Kushner, love and regards, Stuart Grayson. I love this book, and I never read it because I know it all, right? So for inspiration, I was guided to pull this book, and I opened it up, and I just started flipping through it, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is brilliant. This is genius. Yeah. And so I'm inspired to speak from it because unique to the Center for Spiritual Living Princeton and a few other centers, mostly on the East Coast. The New York City Center was like this. I'm not sure what they're doing now, but there's pockets of people who were trained in this specific tradition, this specific approach to spirituality that is important and valuable. And it rests upon the relentless pursuit of spiritual truth and not taking no for an answer. And looking at any condition in our worlds as an unconscious belief in or acceptance of a no to life, a no to goodness, a no to peace, a no to harmony. And it's a radical stand. And I take this radical stand. I saw my teacher take this radical stand. And I chose to take this radical stand. And it has proven itself over and over to be a better, for me, a better stand to take than any other position or approach to spirituality and toward oneness. And it's had its ups and downs in me as I've opened up more and more to love and to being one with all and connecting with others, because believe me, I had a lot of healing to do and I had a lot to learn about, people, you guys out there. When I came into this teaching, I was afraid of other people, terrified, and pretending like I wasn't. So it was well hidden, but that inner turmoil, it was so awful. But here I am, became a minister, and I'm like, well, this is not going to work, being afraid of people and being a minister. You kind of got to get over it, honey. And so with that radical stand on spiritual truth, I've changed. My life has changed. My world has changed. My world has changed from an emotional nightmare filled with all the problems that everyone usually experiences to really a very nice life. As I've said before, the only problem I have in my life is me. That's the only problem left. So our topic today is how to see the world correctly. And Dr. Stuart Grayson absolutely took that stand that our world is a projection of what we believe and nothing else. There is no outside independent world that's behaving however it behaves, and we're a victim of it. It does not exist. Taking that spiritual stand of cause and that one with God, first cause of it all, is a complete majority. By taking that stand, one can look at this world and absolutely insist to yourself, not to the world, because it doesn't matter, to yourself, that this world is God's world. It is all good. And I'm going to stand with that truth until I see it. That is radical. And I don't think you're going to hear that particular point of view from many other teachers of the science of mind, even though it's everywhere. We absolutely take that stand that this world is an effect of that which is unconsciously believed. And we use the powerful tool of spiritual mind treatment called affirmative prayer, spiritual mind treatment, to convince ourselves, to change ourselves, to know the truth, because we know that our spiritual mind treatment, its whole purpose is to direct the law of creation, not to change our world, to direct the law of creation to change what we believe. And then automatically, because it is done unto us as we believe, our world changes. I tested this out years ago as his student, riding on the subways. It would be in the morning packed with people, and you'd be hanging off the things, and you'd trying not to like land in somebody's lap who was sitting there. And sometimes I couldn't hold on to anything because nothing was in reach, but the whole body of the people would be holding me up, good times, good times. And I remember one morning, it was particularly stress-filled morning feeling for me, and the subway was jammed with the business suits types holding onto the handles, and there were some teenage girls sitting in the little seats alongside it. And one of the young women pulled out a cigarette and lit it near where I was. And I was like, oh boy, here we go. And so one of the business people that was standing there remarked upon it. And I'm like, I can't go there. I can't go there. I could just, everything in me was like, you just can imagine what could happen. And so I said, all right, my world is a reflection of what I am believing. And right now I am believing in big trouble and I don't want to be a part of it. So let's do something else. And so I turned my ears and my eyes off and went within and just kept saying to myself, love is omnipresent. Divine love is omnipresent. Divine harmony, divine peace is omnipresent. Saying it over and over silently to myself until I could open my eyes again. And I opened my eyes and ears. And the gentleman that had remarked about the cigarette smoking was advising these young teenagers on how they could become lawyers. And I don't know what happened to the cigarette. It was gone. I don't know what happened to it. And I was like, whoa, did I do that? But you see, it's your world. If they were all going to have a fight, they'll have their fight. But apparently not in my world. Your world, your experience rearranges itself to reflect what you believe. And what Dr. Stuart Grayson, the Science of Mind, teaches us is, yeah, there's what we unconsciously believe, but your conscious mind can choose something different, and you can choose it and direct the law to make you believe it. So you can choose what you don't believe yet, and you don't believe it because you're seeing something different, but you can choose something different and then stay with it and demand that the law change you until you believe it. And then you open up your eyes and you open up your ears and you're like, whoa, my world got changed. I didn't expect that. But it became an experiment with me whenever I was with the mob. I was working in a lawyer's office, and there was a cranky secretary who worked right behind me, and a really cranky lawyer who worked in, the shared quarters. And I remember sitting at my desk one day, and the cranky lawyer met this cranky secretary, and they started going at it, which was their thing. Apparently, I was relatively new, but I'm there. I'm like 3 feet away, and they're going into their thing. And I closed again my eyes and my ears while I was pretending like I was doing something at my desk. It's only love and harmony, universal peace, universal love. That's all there is. Loving presence, that's God, good. That's all that is. I forget what I used to say, it was so many years ago, but it was something along those lines. And I opened up my eyes and I opened up my ears, and the two of them were having a serious exchange, talking about their different beliefs in God. What the heck? Their relationship didn't forever change. That's an outpicturing of their world and their belief. But while they were near me, my world, when they entered the orbit of my world, it's like, a meteorite, when it enters the Earth's atmosphere, it comes under the Earth's laws. When the world enters your consciousness atmosphere, it obeys your laws. And how and what it's going to do it's not your business to know, and it's not your business to direct. It's not it, but your steadfastness to spiritual truth, regardless of what you are seeing in the world, as you turn within and you claim it, when you then look without again, something is different. Something is different. Many times it's just been me that's different. Many times it's just been me coming up out of it and realize, this is really funny. And all of a sudden I've got, I back when I was doing this, I would get a comedy sketch out of it. I'm like, oh, this would make a great comedy sketch. Let me start, taking down what everybody's saying, because it's going in my next comedy sketch that I'm performing somewhere in Manhattan. And I did. And it was pretty good stuff I wrote based upon the material that came into my world. But that's what we need to realize, is that the way to see the world correctly is to not see what the world is doing when you're not knowing your power, when you're not knowing yourself as cause. Because Dr. Stuart Grayson says, our experience largely reflects what has moved through us on an invisible and or subconscious level of mind. And so that we are immersed in a fathomless sea of consciousness. It comprises the collective experiences and resultant beliefs of human history. They are the heritage of all human beings. Race, color, ethnic origin are meaningless in this awareness of the primordial state from which each one of us has emerged. Here we are all alike. Here we come. We are related and alike, individual, but from a common spiritual and mental ancestry. And so what we want to realize is our worlds right now are a combination of what the human race has accumulated and believed over centuries. We had to inherit something to go from, but also is this divine consciousness where we are all one. And the choice of what we focus upon is ours and ours alone. And so he asks us, do you regard outer circumstances as basic and essential to your welfare? Do you regard outer circumstances as basic and essential to your welfare? If your answer is yes, then you are operating on the level of secondary causation with its fears, doubts, and limitations. If you are looking on that outer projected world for your good, then you're believing in the world, and you are then a part of what the human race is commonly believing. Whether you're aware of it or not is irrelevant, because most of what our world is outpicturing is from our unconscious beliefs, and unconsciously we'll go with the flow. What flow are you going with? The flow of the world, the human race opinion and beliefs with all of its fears and its nightmares? Or are you going with the flow of the universal presence? And that's what Dr. Grayson tells us to do, is that without consciously courting the divine presence within us, we are going to be flowing with the world's human race opinions and beliefs. Because the world that we live in has got to get created out of something. And if we aren't consciously choosing beauty, love, light, truth with daily meditation, he has a whole big section on the necessity of daily communing with the divine. He says, the method that I taught all my students is blah, blah, blah. And so I read that whole section and I'm thinking, he never taught us that, but okay. I missed that class, even though I was there all the time, whatever. That's what he thought he taught us. Okay, well, good. I'll read the book some more. But the thing is that whatever it is, that is your way, and he makes that point, whatever is your way of communing with the eternal verities, with the truth of life, omnipresent, omniscient, omnipotent life, that fuels us to realize when we go out into this world that it is ephemeral, it is changing. Eternal truths are changeless, and that they are omnipresent, and we can demand, right? His first book was called The 10 Demandments of Prosperity. We can demand that we see the presence of love, that we see the presence of peace and of harmony. We can demand to see the truth, and the only time it takes for you to see that truth is the time that it takes for you to demand it and the law to create your belief in it. That's all you have to do. And then you see the world for what it is. It's a conglomeration of the human race's fears. He talks about the 3 L's and the 3 R's. The human race believes in the 3 L's: lack, loss, limitation. It's everywhere. The human race responds to change with resistance, rejection, rebellion, the 3 R's. None of that has anything to do with anything that you might touch when you are contemplating that which is divine. You don't get the 3 R's and the 3 L's when you have that mystical experience of communing with that which is all good. You get that from the world, because that's what the world's centuries of belief have out picturing it. He calls it the law of averages. And I used to be an econometrician, so I know about statistics. And statistics are an attempt to describe the past. And I was an econometrician, and my job was to predict the future based upon the movement of facts from the past. And I did that very, very well. And I was very, very well paid for this job. And I worked in that position and got deeper and clearer until I realized, oh my gosh, with this method, absolutely anything can be predicted by using time alone. And I'm like, okay. What I realized then was that all these variables that the world measures to predict the future are not the cause. With the Science of Mind teaching, we are offered the opportunity to not be mass mind group think, not to be a part of the mob, the herd, the sheep, to follow. We are taught to think for ourselves. In this chapter, he goes on and on and on. He says, nothing. All right, here we go. From the beginning, you have to release the past. This is Memorial Day weekend. Oops, wrong talk, right? You have to release the past, divest yourself of past hurts and fears. You need to leave the past and move into the present. Nothing from the past can inhibit divine action. You do not have to be tethered to old ideas, concepts, or beliefs. Every moment can be a new beginning. You must live your life, not your parents, your friends, or anyone else's, not the life someone you may respect wants you to live. Individual freedom is the key to life, freedom to be, to become. And what we realize about this is the way to be living your life is to make your choices and stand on them until you believe them and your world makes way for them. So we've had an interesting year plus, right? With the world went crazy. And it was nothing new. We've had the plagues and the pandemics every century. When I looked back up in old spiritual books, metaphysical diagnoses of the plague and the flu and the this, they said it's the suggestion of fear gone rampant in the human race. That's all it is. And I spoke about it. And each one of us then had to make a choice how we were going to show up in this world of panic and upset and whatnot. And each one of us was guided on our particular path, but only you know whether you like how you lived through it or not. I guess that's it. Did you do a good job with yourself in being true to yourself through this or not? I mean, that's just the question. I mean, no wrong answer, no right answer, no, you should have done this, you should have done that. Who the hell knows? And it's no one else's business what you choose for yourself. And it's no one else's business what is best for you. So, did you live in fear of what the world is doing, or did you work on taking a stand in truth throughout this period and carve a new way of being in this world? It's very weird this weekend right now because all of a sudden we're maskless. And everywhere I go, I'm like, okay, I got the mask, like it's hanging on my ear. And I go to the store and I look at their doors. You know, they have a notice. No, there's no notice anymore. Okay, so what does that mean? I'm not sure. Okay, well, let's go in with it and then let's see. Oh, everybody's wearing one. Oh, that one's not. Okay, eventually ask, is it okay to be maskless? What does the business want, right? Because that's the rule right now in the world. But your choice is yours. And so where do you find the cause of your health? Where do you find the cause of your loving interaction with the world? If we are, as Dr. Grayson said, if we are looking to the world for our health, oh, woe is us, right? If you're looking right now, please, even the world will say, if you're looking to the world for your health, you're doomed. You know? If you're looking to your consciousness of the all, that your awareness and connection with the all good, then that's where your health is always given, because that divine omnipresence is only creating a healthy body for you to dwell and express that which you are given to express from within. And so to see the world correctly, we got to get our relationship with the divine clear, but also Dr. Grayson tells us we have to connect with it. Let me see if I can find it. You must live your life. Yep. He says somewhere, I'll have to get, all right, not jumping out at me. He says somewhere that we must find the source of our good, of our health, of our abundance, of our love within. We have to find it. That means we have to work to find it within, because the world, you don't have to find the world and what's going on. It is oppressing us. The world is screaming its false beliefs at us in every direction. You don't have to find what's the world doing. It's right there, right? It's in your phone. It's, I'm getting phone call messages. The world is letting me know everything that it wants me to know. But to find that omnipresence of love and goodness, it requires that search within yourself. And yet it's worth it. And so we do. Dr. Stuart Grayson did and does in this book. He recommends daily dedicated spiritual practice. Recommends sometime, call it meditation or contemplation, or just reading spiritual truth, where you're filling your mind with that which is eternal, that which is the truth, that which is the all good. You fill your conscious awareness with it, and then you use spiritual mind treatment to direct the law of creation, the law of cause and effect, to change our unconscious beliefs. So that which we have been filled with consciously in communion with the divine becomes what we really believe in our hearts. And then we go out into the world and we see where we're at with it. And if we see, oh, I need to do a little bit more communion with the divine, we do a little bit more communing with the divine, or a lot more communion with the divine. But living a life with freedom of choice is simple, but it's not easy. And it's not a one-time thing. It's every choice. Every choice. I'll admit, I haven't built up the stamina for continuous choosing, but it's increased, and my life is so much better because of it. But it can be even better. So for my life to be even better, I got to up my choosing, my awareness of what I'm choosing. Am I just going along with the world, dealing with it, responding to it, reacting to it, taking it for a given, taking it as something uncontrollable, taking it as, well, it is what it is, and I need to deal with it as best I can? That's a very good level of living, but there's more. That can also be, I am cause. That divine first cause within me is what I know, and because I claim it's life, light, love, power, peace, beauty, harmony, and joy. This is the truth. This is cause. This is omnipresent. This is my world. I see it now. I claim it now. And I demand to see my world show up as it. Details to be filled in later by the law. Right? That's some doing. But at least now in this world with the mask and the not the mask, it gives us, right? The rules are wobbly now. Right? Wasn't it so much easier when these are the rules? Go with it. Or, be ready to take a stand and have to deal with the world's reactions to your stand, right? But no, we're given a better choice. We're given, okay, what's your choice? Put the mask on? Take the mask off? And what does it mean to you? And what's the choice to you? There aren't, right? It's the world is more fluid again for a little while. It'll harden. That's what it does. But at the moment, it's very fluid and very scary. But we here who have been standing in spiritual truth throughout this, or if you're here for the very first time, we're realizing, wait a minute. I have another choice. I can be in the world, but not of the world. In that Bible, one of the first chapters in the law of creation, the second story of creation, when Adam got created, right? Adam got dominion over all the created little things. Adam got the right to name these things. And what he named them to be, they became. And that story is our gift. It's our story. We have dominion over our experience of our world. This universal world, the humanity world, that's all going on, whatever. But what comes near you is what you experience, and you do have dominion over that if you claim it. If you claim it, and if you realize it's your choice that you make of what you want to believe within that affects what gets drawn to you. So yes, when I first came into this teaching, before I met Dr. Grayson, but in the very class where I first saw that video of him in California, that class was teaching us to be happy where we are. And I was the big mouth in the room going, are you out of your mind? This is garbage. Are you crazy? My job is horrible. What do you mean be happy there? They are wrong. They are awful. They are horrible. Blah, 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 blah. That was my world. And I brought that right into their beautiful little class. The facilitator of that class, I don't know what he was thinking. God bless him. But his only answer to me was, beautiful, beautiful. That's just beautiful. He's crazy. That's what I thought, right? But he showed that video of Dr. Stuart Grayson. Changed my life. Changed my life. And your life too. You're here, you're watching this, you're thinking this, you're listening to me, right? And something in you has brought you here and is even causing you to hear what you need to hear. Who knows what I'm saying? I'll be the last one to admit what I'm saying. But you're hearing what the divine knows you want to hear so that you can claim your life and live your life. This is a powerful teaching, watered down by the world, taking it, changing it, interpreting things the way that they want to interpret it. It is what it is. It wasn't supposed to be, wasn't meant to be. It's all good. And we've got the clarity of this particular strain of this teaching alive here in this book. What I'm trying to say in our practitioners, our new practitioner interns, trained in this to know the truth. And so when we do a spiritual mind treatment, this is what we are standing on. We are doing a treatment to erase every human race false belief out of your consciousness, directing the law to wipe it all away so that the truth of the divine all good is revealed, and everything in your world as a result changes. That's what we're here for. That's what we do, and we're good at it. So be proud to be a part of this crowd and make use of us. We have all these practitioner and interns. We have Michael, he's online. We have his spiritual treatment that you can view later on. We've got these new interns. We've got our licensed practitioners. We're here to know the truth for you and to teach you how to know the truth for yourself, not to become dependent on us. We're here to know the truth for you until you don't need us anymore, but that you are going out and making your own world based upon your conscious choices. That's what we do. We do it well. And darn it, that's my story, and I'm sticking with it. All right, so it is done unto us as we believe. So let's take a moment to contemplate all of that which is stirring within us. Reverend Rich is going to sing us a song. And when I come back, I'm going to do a spiritual mind treatment. So get ready.
If you've been thinking you're all that you've got, then don't feel alone anymore. 'Cause when we're together, then you've got a lot. 'Cause I am the river, you are the shore. And it goes on and on, watching the river run further and further from things that we've got, reading them one by one, and we have just begun. Watching the river run, listening and learning and yearning around the river run, winding and swirling and dancing along. We passed the old willow tree, us as we sing them our song, rejoicing together when we greet the sea. And it goes on and on, watching the river run, further and further from things that we've done, leaving them one by one, and we have just begun, watching the river run, listening and learning and yearning to run, river run. And it goes on and on, watching the river run, further and further from things that we've done, leaving them one by one, and we have just begun, watching the river run, listening and learning and yearning to run, river run.
All righty, Roo. All right, so I invite you now to think of something in your world that you would like to have changed. Your physical body, relationships, another person, doesn't matter. I'm going to do a spiritual mind treatment to change what you're believing about it so that you believe, the truth that will demonstrate something different in your world. Okay, so everybody think of something. Right? Okay. So this word is being spoken for each one. Infinite mind knows all. It knows each one, and it knows what's in their heart and their thought. And it is creating each one, giving to each one that gift of choice, so that each one is not a victim of the world. Any belief in powerlessness, in being a victim, in not having any control over the world, all experience of being affected by the world, all deep-rooted fear of what the world is doing, all looking toward that outer world for the answers, for the health, for the healing. It's all by this word. Erased, vanished, gone, cast back into the nothingness from whence it came. And what is truth? What is eternal? What is omnipresent? Is love, is intelligence, is goodness, is peace, harmony, joy, balance, order, good. All good. And so this infinite mind knows what each one has selected by that gift of choice, that freedom to choose how each one experiences this world. And this infinite mind knows how to create a changed belief within each one that contains the spiritual, unchanging truth that does manifest as something completely different in each one's world. And so this infinite mind, its law of action is now directed to do whatever is necessary to change the belief, the unconscious beliefs of each one, so that truth is known and believed and accepted and embodied within each one. And as a result, each one's world and the specific situation that each one has claimed to be changed is changed to reveal the presence of life, light, love, power, peace, beauty, harmony, order, joy. Now outpictured in a wonderful, surprising, and God-blessed way. This is truth. I am grateful this is truth. So I release this word to the law of cause and effect, the law of creation, the law of action now, knowing it obeys, it is done, it's done, and so it is. And that's the way it is. All right, so take us away, Reverend Rich.
We let the wash over us. We let it be. We let the joy wash over us. Yeah, we let it be. We let the peace wash over us. We let it be. We let it be.
Yeah, that's the perfect spiritual truth. Just let the love, the light, the joy, the peace just wash all over us. Let it be. All right. So, Deja, thank you so much. Regina has posted information about our website where you can go to find out the link to our Wednesday class and where you can communicate with us, where you can ask for spiritual mind treatment for yourself. Why not? And where you can also make a contribution to our center for this work. Thank you so much. Regina has posted a quote. So let's see what this post is. This looks good. As a center of consciousness in an infinite mind principle, I am the means through which a cosmic creativity flows. Everything I touch with my thought is transformed into a vibrant manifestation of creativity. Today, I accept myself as the spontaneous, forward-moving expression of the spirit. I am happy and at peace with my world, and everyone in it appreciates my special participation in life. Oh, look who wrote that treatment, Dr. Stuart Grayson. Thank you, Regina. That's wonderful. Hello, Diane. Good to